People spend the majority of their time in one of three places: their homes, their work, or somewhere else, often called the third place. The third place is where people gather for social or recreational events: bars, social clubs, sporting events, or, in this case, a friendly local game store. This is the story of lifelong nerds and longtime friends following their dreams. This is the story of eclectic individuals coming together to support their third place.
Hi, my name is Daryl Owen.
I am Travis Schochner, and we're the founders of the Gathering Games.
Travis and Daryl have been friends since 2004. United in a love of Magic the Gathering and various role-playing games, the pair also share a taste of good cigars, fine spirits, and smoked meats. As time went on, they found they shared another interest: opening a gaming store of their own to cater to the people who shared their hobbies.
We had talked about it for several years before we had actually seriously started planning. And that planning process was 8-9 months long. Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, we had talked about it a few times, and then we were drunk one night, like, why don't we go for it? We've been talking about it for a while. It was basically calling each other out. And so we just started going through the process of what would we like to see, what wouldn't we like to see.
Yeah,
how much would it really cost to do?
That's when it became, instead of an idea, it became something starting on paper.
What it really came down to was every time we would go to like a pre-release event or something else, we would get frustrated when we would look around and see that the game spaces were not for us. When you would go to an event, it would cram you in like sardines in a can.
To me, it was more of an issue with respect for the gamer.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the places that Travis said that we went to were more of a, we have to give you space so you can play the game in the store, instead of designing a space for them to play games and then looking for a spot to host the products. We wanted a concept of the gamer first and then the retail part second.
What did your friends and family think about it initially?
We'll start with my family. How do you make money? Do you sell the tables? Do you rent them? How are you going to make money? Mm-hmm. That's pretty much sums up my family's thoughts on when you say you're going to open a small business. Everyone's excited, like, oh, what business? Oh, a game store. Oh, what?
And you're not doing video games?
Yeah, no, that first question. Video games, like buying and selling cartridges and stuff like that? No. Tabletop games, card games, board games, role-playing, Warhammer. How do you make money? That was my family's reaction. And that's pretty much the reaction from most of my non-gamer friends.
From nearly everyone in the family, it was, what? Like, that sounds cool. Like, my family's very supportive, but at the same time, it's like, but you're not selling video games, and you should get into all this other stuff. And it's like, no. There is a market there. To this day, I still get family members who are like, so you haven't failed yet? Like, nope. Still going. Oh, okay. By going to the other events and the other stores in the area, when they were busy, we saw that there is plenty of support once they know that the priority is the space. And it just came down to convincing people of that.
So what kind of issues did you face when you started?
I would say our learning experience, trying to figure out how everything pieced together. Where do your supplies come from? Who are your suppliers? What's your labor cost going to be? What hours are you going to be open? Do we need to be open this many hours? How many days of the week? Are we going to close any days? What's your point of sale system going to be? What's your credit card processing company going to be? Didn't know that was an option.
Banks control whether you get access to some funding. And if they don't understand what you're doing, you don't get access. And when you say, I want to open a board game store, someone in the process line doesn't understand what your business model is. And you can point to successful versions of the business model you want to follow. Doesn't matter. They don't understand. You're not getting the loan.
After finally securing the finances to support their business venture, they came across their next obstacle: finding a base of regular customers. Fortunately, word of mouth spreads pretty fast among the gaming communities. This should not be a surprise, as many of the first communities to pop up online were for gaming.
The goal of the store was to become what's called the third place. Your home, which is the first place, your work, which is the second place, and then the place you choose to hang out with your friends and everybody else. That's the third place. That's part of the reason why we were called the Gathering. This is the place where you choose to come and hang out. And it was those first people that were coming in, and then they told their friends, because once these niche communities find out about someplace, they want to go there. It gave a place for people to come in and play, and then they would bring their friends. And then that word of mouth is, no matter what anybody says, word of mouth is very strong.
It really was a if you build it, they will show up kind of mentality. We tried to make sure that the comfort level was there for the gamers in the store, and that's really what we focused on first.
After the fall of 2016, the local gaming communities found themselves flocking to a new haven. The Gathering Games quickly found a foothold with a steady flow of recurring customers, but a serious blow came to the business in the summer of 2018.
I'm working behind the counter. Everybody leaves. Gone to a local restaurant to get some food. They come back, and I'm just like, oh, my neck. It doesn't hurt. It just feels weird. But I'm behind the counter and work on my stuff. And then when they came back, I'm like, is there something wrong with my neck? And they're like, you need to go to the doctor. They did MRI scans, and it ended up being thyroid cancer that had spread into my lymph nodes in my neck, that's what was causing my neck to blow up. Your thyroid controls a lot of things, and one of the major things it controls is like your energy levels. I can hit a wall a lot easier now. So, and during that first year and a half, 2 years, they're just dialing in the medication. During that first year, I especially immediately after, I could be walking around and then be like, and I'm done. Just be a puddle. Done. I'm done. I wasn't able to maintain that work level, both going to work and working at the store.
That marked a point in transition for the Gathering Games. That's when Travis stepped back, and we brought 2 new owners on to kind of fulfill that void. I call that the second phase of the Gathering Games. That's when we started the second phase, and we started changing a little bit more about how we do things and what our goals are going to be. We moved a lot into Warhammer. We did a lot more tabletop gaming. Really became that spot to hang out a lot. I mean, we really cemented that in. This is now a store that you can hang out in, and almost every night of the week there was something going on. That really changed the paradigm of the store, really, for those first couple of years.
Though the store had recovered from one potential disaster, nobody could have predicted the global lockdown and the struggles presented by the COVID pandemic.
2019 was actually a year of explosive growth for the Gathering Games. We were actually seriously considering another store. We were going to expand. It was a bit ambitious. It was a little bit more aggressive than probably we were ready for, but we were all gung-ho. We were going to do it. Then COVID became a thing, and lockdown became a thing, and
not being able to host things in the store became a thing.
Not being able to host events, which was the cornerstone of our second phase, was hosting events and getting that interaction with the community. And now the community is being told to isolate. And we isolated for a really long time. All the extra capital, all of that planning, everything we had, gone, evaporated.
Thankfully, a wise decision made in the planning phases of their business helped keep the store open as well as their employees paid.
We started from the beginning with a foundation of we will be e-commerce ready. And then when COVID happened, it was a simple switch for us to go from a shopping in-store experience to curbside pickup. Our business practices changed again. And that was kind of our third phase, was the post-COVID phase of the Gathering Games.
Through the struggles of opening a new business, fighting cancer, and surviving a global pandemic, the Gathering Games remains open and continues to serve as a pillar of the community to this day. With support from their customers and lessons learned from the past, the longtime friends and lifelong nerds remain cautiously optimistic about the future.
I say now we're in a part where we're starting to transition to get into another phase where we're looking for another, constantly evolving, constantly changing, looking for something to do into next. We are still recovering from COVID, like every other small business.
We're at a point now where we believe we're moving in the right direction, but the catch is going to be how the economy is going forward. A lot of small businesses right now are really susceptible to major changes in the economy. I don't wonder about the future of the gaming community, let's put it that way. But I am hopeful that the store can survive whatever BS is coming our way again, because there has been a lot of powerful people who took advantage of stuff that wasn't meant for them, and it ended up hurting small businesses. Mom and pop gaming shops, the COVID wiped out a vast chunk of them. And the survivors are here. We're battle scarred and everything, but we believed that every game store was more about the community that it was supporting. So when another store closed, we felt that we didn't celebrate it. It hurt because we've been to that store. We liked that store. Another big thing happens. It's gonna be another storm to weather through.
But when we have experience weathering, because we've done it before, we'll do it again.
Yep.
It's been quoted several times, come hell or high water, we will have a store. There's been a lot of hell, and there's been a lot of high water.
Yep. Small businesses thrive when the community that they support decide that they're important. And we have learned through all of this that we are very important to the community that supports us. When I was working in the store, I have a lot of stories of people having literal life-changing events happen to them at our store. And I was there to witness it. From an engagement, people finding out family members have died, breaking up with people.
High school students, when we open, are now mothers and fathers who are bringing their kids into our store. We've hit that generational turn. And that's something that's kind of special about having a small town game store.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you like to say to the haters?
Your salt is tasty.
All right, I think we're good because I think we're good here.
Yeah, and you made a promise that you're due in a minute.
Yep.
Yeah, we gotta go to.
God damn it! This one wasn't recording.
So there's no audio for me?
Ran out of storage. No.
No, we're both on that one, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
that one has
okay.
all the audio.
You want me to turn this off?
Yeah.
So he doesn't. The only camera he has of you is that.
This-
was
this-
that recording?
This was recording, yes.